section 9 of this Kristal mixing tutorial. As we've been going through it, I've really learned to dislike this keyboard track. It seems jerky and sort of imbalancing the entire mix, I think. So what I want to do is fill the space here, but only let the keyboard start at the verse. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to select the track, grab the little box in the bottom corner, and drag it on over. Now you'll see as we do this in our window up here, you'll see a white line where we just drug. And that makes it easy to line up the window with where we want to be in the waiver window, which also makes zooming in a lot easier. We'll drag this on over. What I want to do is create a rhythmic intro to the verse.
How to wrap up the sun.
Get this soloed. I think we'll cut off this first part and keep it the triplet feel there. That'll make a nice introduction to the keys coming in, I think. We need to tighten the front end up. And if you grab this little triangle and move it in, that's your fader point. You got one at each end of the waiver. That'll fade it in and out. You can see it working above. So that helps you make the adjustment. No pops there. So let's unsolo this and hear it with the track.
How to wrap up the sun. You came here all along with big city dreams and nothing to lose. Your family made you look back home, but I'm still here for you. How to wrap up the sun.
Okay, now we get to have some editing fun with the track. Go up here and select our snap to grid. And I'm figuring 2 bars will do it. Okay, let's go ahead and select here. Press 2 to select our scissor tool and make our cut. Press 1 to go back to our selection tool and mark. And press 2 for scissors and cut again. And press 1 so we can drag over a little bit. Then we'll go ahead and pull this back to the end of the bar that we're working on. And in order to get a finer adjustment, we need to go up and turn the snap to grid off, so we can tighten it up to that area. Now we go back, select the piece we want to copy, hit Control C, then we'll go over to the area we want to place it in and left click and hit Control V. Now, of course, it's going to take a little editing. We can see this ain't perfectly lined up with the downbeat there. So we'll shrink this in, and then we'll go ahead and mark it. And we'll just drag the piece over, eyeballing it to the line. Give that a listen. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's get this soloed. We're going to start working on the ends now. Okay, we're going to go to the end here and work on this overlap. We're going from a sustained note into a rhythmic 4 on the floor type feel. So we got to make sure this transition here is smooth and there ain't a lot of glitches. Now we can drag it over and guesstimate about where we want it at. We can tighten up the ends and guesstimate the fades and stuff, but there's an easier way to see what we're doing. We'll head on up here to Attributes and select from the drop-down Transparent. Now as we drag this over the other track, we can see what's underneath. The part we're working on is outlined in red, and we can always see the end of it. We'll go ahead and do our fade out to there. That should be good enough. But now we're back to not being able to see where we're at here. We can do the fade out, but I like to be a little more sure when doing a transition like this. So we'll go up here and make this transparent also. And we can see that was a pretty good guesstimate. When they're both transparent, the red line will show which one you're working on. So let's go and check out our handiwork and see how well we've done. Transition sounds good to me. Now, the front of this sounds a little clipped. The note don't sound quite right, and I think we can see why now. The note itself is not snapped to the bar, so we need to drag this over, but to make sure it's right on, we'll hit the snap to grid button. Then go back down and pull it over and let it align itself, and there's the rest of the note. The edit looks pretty clean to me, so we're going to go ahead and leave that for now and just give it a listen. Oh, let's turn the snap to grid off. Now that sounds pretty good. I don't hear no glitching. Let's hear the whole thing in context, shall we? Okay, I think that'll work great in the track. Let's go ahead and get rid of these transparencies. The production choice I made about filling this hole was just because the last third of the song sounded a little jerky because of the hole itself. But I think this technique will make the last third of the song a little more solid. Let's give it a listen. Yeah, I think that takes it to another level. It sounds a lot punchier, a lot rockier to my ear. Okay, we're going to go looking for some clipping, starting with the drum tracks. Yep, right in there is the culprit. Go ahead and zoom in on this section. And we'll go ahead and hit 2 to select our cut tool and start making edits. We'll go straight down the drum track itself, make all of our edits, and then we'll start doing some adjusting. Now, since it's a compounded problem with all these hits hitting on the same beat, that's why we're getting the clipping just in this area. So we'll go ahead and start dragging them down bit by bit, and we'll bypass a lot of this because it's stuff you've seen before. Okay, that's sounding a lot cleaner. Sounding good. In section 10, we're going to go ahead and do some cleanup on the tracks, adjust the vocals some more, do some basic editing, add some master effects, and export to Mixdown. See you there.